Greetings. As our primary source analysis paper is fast approaching, I wanted to give you some quick and succinct tips on how to write an effective primary source analysis paper. So I'll try to be as direct and quick to the point as possible. First of all, I would say many of the things that I've stressed about your position paper is still the same. So no personal pronouns, no I, no you, no we, no plagiarizing. Make sure you have strong topic sentences. Um, so those things are the same. With the primary source analysis paper, it's going to be important about the sources that you use. So the only sources that I am looking for you to use are your notes that you take from the textbook. Um, so the textbook, um, anything that you take from the videos or any lectures that I've given online, and specifically the primary sources themselves. So what you are going to do is you're going to look at those sources and try to find meaning by looking at those primary sources. And the way that you go about finding meaning and analyzing them, I pretty much already set it up for you. You're going to go ahead and answer the questions. Things like, what's the main idea? Who's speaking? Who's being spoken to? What does it say about gender? So on and so forth. So make sure that you don't. I strongly encourage you not to use any outside sources other than the textbook, the videos, and any lectures that I may have posted. If you use other sources, because first of all, it's not a research paper, it's a primary source analysis paper. I've already provided the sources for you, but I am chiefly and I am most directly interested in what you have to say, not what you have, not what you can say other folks have said about your topic. It's your analysis, not somebody else's analysis. So I'm most and chiefly and paramountly interested in what you have to say about the topic. So make sure you pay attention to the sources that you use. When you're organizing your paper, I've already created an outline. Now you don't have to use that outline; it's only a suggestion. You can use whatever outline that you want, but do not write two separate papers. You're looking at two sources, but you're supposed to answer those questions for both sources. And in doing so, I strongly encourage you to look at how they differ. So, how does this one source answer this question? How does the other source that you're also using answer this question? How is it different? How is it the same? But don't write, spend one half of your paper writing only on one source and the other half of your paper only writing on the other source. Don't write two separate papers, one paper, and you integrate your analysis. You put them in communication with one another. Again, no two separate papers. When you go about answering the questions, again, it's about analysis. I'm interested in your ideas, and I don't want your ideas to be basic. So there is no one right answer. I am interested not on you arriving at the right answer. Now, don't say anything crazy, but I'm more interested in what your opinion is or what your take is on it. And it's not just your opinion because it is based upon how you can back it up with evidence, with solid evidence. Uh, so, um, so for example, don't say anything basic. So like, who is speaking? Now the sources are going to tell you specifically who is speaking, and it very well may tell you who they're speaking to. But oftentimes when we speak, we don't only speak for ourselves; we represent something else. So, so I may make a speech. So uh, if I was Denmark Vesey or Nat Turner, and I gave you a primary source on that, obviously be Nat Turner speaking, but it's not just Nat Turner speaking. He's speaking on behalf of abolitionists. Not only is he talking on behalf of abolitionists, he's talking on behalf of black abolitionists, which oftentimes were different than white abolitionists. So And again, you see how I did that. Not only is it Nat Turner speaking, but it's an abolitionist. It's a black abolitionist. You can say he's a black male abolitionist. Another thing that I want you to do is be as specific as possible when you go about answering these questions. Don't say anything general. The more specific, the better, because the more you are specific, the more that you have to force yourself to analyze something. So make sure that you are specific. Now, I would say the same thing when you're answering the question, who's being spoken to? And that's going to be a little bit less obvious. So when you speak about who the audience is, make sure that you use your context clues. What is it about the document that leads me to the conclusion that this person is speaking to that group of people or to that group of people? Use the document, but also use what you know about the time period in which the document was written. So make sure you pay specific attention to the time period in which it was written. What was going on around that time? And that's particularly when you answer the question, how does the document reflect the society in which it was created? And you can answer that question in a paragraph in itself, or you can just, make sure that you refer to the time period in which the document was written and how the document reflects what's going on. So, for example, if I gave a speech in 2016 where I'm saying, I hope that my child is safe when police are around. So if I say that now, did I say 2012? Hopefully I didn't. So if I say that in 2016, chances are I'm concerned about what happened in Ferguson or what happened along with the Black Lives Matter movement. So what I'm saying isn't just in isolation. It is a response and it is a reflection of what's going on in the larger society. So what you're reading in the textbook, what the videos are showing you, or what is happening in the larger society. So these documents are a reflection. They are a response to what's happening in the larger society. When you look at gender, please know that when you talk about gender, someone doesn't just have to say woman or man to talk about gender. Sometimes because they don't say anything which talks about gender. But what I want you to do is look at these documents, and based upon what they say or what they don't say or how they say it, what does that give you an idea on how they feel or how the society feels a woman's places in society? What are a woman's expectations, responsibilities? What are the expectations of a man, a woman? What are their role in society? That's what I want you to go about answering. And somebody doesn't have to just straight up say, well, a woman's role in society. It says, or they may not say a woman, but again, I want you to use your context, your analysis skills to go about answering those questions. You're like a detective. And again, when a detective solves a crime, there's often what they call no smoking gun, but where it's obvious that this person robbed the bank, but they have to use their context clues like, it's a good chance that this person robbed the bank based upon these clues that I have. You all have to do the same thing throughout this entire paper. Same thing with criticism. Oftentimes people have make the mistake and say that just because someone said something that it is true